Every day, we as people use more electricity than many other countries. In America, there are two major producers of energy, coal and nuclear energy. One of these ways produces a controllable waste with limited amount harm to the environment and twice as much energy. The other produces more smoke and harm to the environment than many realize. Nuclear energy is a prospering and developing energy source that can become the main future power source. Although this energy has some negative factors, I believe this innovation is the solution to many problems in the future. Nuclear power has so many advantages that make it such a substantial way to make energy for people today. Unlike natural gas, coal, and other energy sources, nuclear energy does not use fossil fuels. Coal and natural gas also emits much less CO2 into the atmosphere. Nuclear production actually produces less radioactive waste than coal produces with CO2. Nuclear power also has a much larger fuel-to-energy ratio. Nuclear fission produces much more power per weight unit than any other coal or natural gas. Nuclear energy does have its negatives. Whether or not they outweigh the positives is up to the rest of the world. Uranium is in fact a rather hard source to come by, and transportation of it is very hazardous, but the most recent transportation accident happened over 20 years ago. The largest downside to nuclear energy is the waste. A high level of radioactive waste is produced from a nuclear power plant, and stays radioactive for up to 10,000 years, and is highly deadly. There is also a large amount of low-level radioactive waste produced. This is a large problem, but the American and Russian governments are both trying to find a way to more permanently get rid of this waste. Two options are being investigated: burying the waste far enough away from the surface that it can cool at a safe distance, and launching it into space far enough to where it will not harm the Earth's atmosphere. For nuclear energy to truly have its time, we need to take a step in the right direction and finalize the way to get rid of the waste. A space deposit program which the Russian government has created is one that is rather practical and could even continue the NASA program. The project of burying the waste far enough to let it settle is an expensive way, but will also be a fine solution. Nuclear energy is truly the power source of the near future. With more and more energy in demand, a powerful creator must be found, and this source has been biding its time. Government decisions to get rid of waste are reported to be a mere 10 years away from the final choice, and this means a huge change in the world. Stopping the harmful CO2 emissions could change everyone's lives. A choice between a powered world and clean air, or limited supply of a meager energy at the cost of a very harmful emission. It's a choice not hard to make. In this image, we have a nuclear reactor core. This is the nuclear core where the fission takes place. This is the pump, and here is the nuclear rods where the splitting of the cells occurs. These rods actually create the waste, with the inner rods becoming highly radioactive and the outer rods becoming lower radioactive. The energy here then transfers to this water, heating it. The steam is then transferred into this box where the steam powers a turbine and then is headed off to the consumer. The water here cools the ocean, and it also becomes radioactive in this pipe and then must be taken back into a cleaning facility. The water then returns back here to be reheated.